Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around on a piece inspired by the Artist Almanac and replicating watercolours in our art journals. So I really love the effect of watercolours, but I'm not very, I suppose, au fait with how to get them looking their best. So it's something that I have tried, but this is, I suppose, my fallback position. I don't know why I'm more comfortable with acrylics. I think it's because once I've got everything where I want it to be, I can make it permanent, whereas with watercolors there's always that chance that it will reactivate again and move and shift and you lose what you really liked. So the way I have been replicating watercolours in my journals is to use my gloss sprays, which is a fluid acrylic, put them onto a really watery background. You can see they blend and shift and bleed just like watercolours do into the background. I did gesso my page first of all just to give it a surface to move into. If I tried to do that straight onto the craft page itself, it would just sink in exactly where you put it and you wouldn't get that lovely blending together. I have actually gone in with my watercolors over the top just to add a little bit of extra color to it, but I really liked how the gloss sprays worked in the background. Then put out some Payne's Grey ink, acrylic ink, and painting over the top with that. Again, I'm using a fairly watery brush to try and replicate watercolors, but still using ink, so again it will be permanent when it's finished. Trying to be really light-handed with what I'm doing, because I do use acrylics so much, I tend to be really heavy-handed with things. So you know, using as much ink as I can, using a lot of water in what I'm doing to get those really sort of translucent buildable layers on my page. You can see on the top left hand corner of the next door page, that's the page I was inspired by in the Artist Almanac. Absolutely gorgeous page and lots of stuff happening in the background. So I was just having so much fun playing around with all the sort of different colours in the background. Then I got a little bit carried away, because you can see in the original piece there's lots of white space and, you know, it's Niamh. So I broke out the acrylic paint, metallic paints, and then I had some left over, so of course I had to use it all. Then I'm going in with my white paint pen and again drawing in these sort of frondy stem leaves, which I really enjoy drawing. So making it quite graphic over the top of a quite loose abstract background, and I really enjoy that contrast in what you can do. Then with my paint pen, because I had it in my hand, I decided I'd add some mark making in. So this pattern was a bit not unusual, because I've used this pattern before, but the fact I've not got it coming in off an edge, is kind of sitting on top of that blue edge, so it is grounded, but it kind of just is floating there as well, which is not a Niamh thing to do. Then going in with some little mark making dots. So a lot of this work, I think the original was inspired by Laura Dame, who did that page. Please correct me if I got that incorrect. But if you go and look up the Australian artist Laura Horn, she does a lot of artwork like this as well. Very simple, very graphic, uses watercolour, uses a lot of mixed media in her work as well, and comes up with some beautiful stuff. Even though this is a lot busier than I intended it to be, I really loved this page and how it came together, and I love the fact that it really does look like watercolour, even though I know it's not in the most case. It really does look like it's watercolour. So using acrylics really watered down, can help you get that beautiful translucent buildable layers that will be permanent when it's finished. Because it's me, we had to put a quote onto the page, so I'm busy looking up a quote that I could add on to the page all the way through Pinterest, looking. What I actually ended up with was something really simple, and it was just live simply, because that's just what the page reminded me of. But like what I usually do, I actually decided to use my acrylic ink and a paintbrush to paint in my quote. So that gave it sort of those really loose lines as well, which I really liked, because I think using a paint pen on this would have been too harsh almost. This just gave it a little bit more of a loose effect, I think. Yeah, quite liked it. So once I dried it down, I then went back in and gave it a little bit of a highlight and a shadow. I decided to use a blue to give it a shadow, just to boost the colour in the background, and to link it to the background colours as well. And because, you don't want to use grey every time, so it's sometimes good to use a different colour. So once I've done the drop shadow, I then went in with my white pen and gave it a bit of a highlight. Again, this just helps to push it out from the background a little bit and make it almost like it's floating on top of the page. So here is a close-up. I always put the inspiration page on my page so I can sort of see where I got my inspiration from. And then I've got my end piece, so you can see all that beautiful mark making in the background. Such a fun page to do. I love replicating watercolours in my pages. I just wish I could use watercolours successfully too, but that's another day for another practice. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.